Chasing the stars, we'll stride into the dawn. Never back down till the battle is won. Face each foe with hearts brave and true, unafraid of the unknown, because I'll face it all with you.
Hello, I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you. This is my partner, Mr. It. Today, we'll be looking at Linkara's review of Labyrinth's comic adaptation.
Usually, since the patron can request most anything, they'll just straight up ask for the movie. But in this case, they actually asked for the comic adaptation.
I feel like I've gone on this tirade before, but requesting the comic book review guy to review a comic book? What a concept!
Once again, we travel to Marvel Super Special and its penultimate issue. The actual final issue was an adaptation of the Howard the Duck movie, so you can see why it was cancelled after that.
Fair, but hey, since this is a Marvel book, at least things came full circle.
Labyrinth was Jim Henson's second attempt at a fantasy film after the lukewarm reception to The Dark Crystal.
And yet, Dark Crystal was the one that got a new TV series decades later.
The cover is just the theatrical release poster of the film. It's a very nice poster, drawn by Ted Kokonis, but it's hard to judge this as a comic cover when it wasn't intended to be.
Well, as you yourself have said, the point is to draw the reader's attention, so as long as it does that, I would think it works.
The official comics adaptation of the spectacular new Jim Henson film. Unlike all those unofficial adaptations of crappy old Jim Henson films.
Such a thing does not exist. Jim Henson never made a crappy film. Underwhelming maybe, but never crappy.
And midway across the glade, she suddenly stops and calls.
Where the hell did I park?
Would this joke have been too obvious?
And midway across the glade, she suddenly stops and calls.
I am so lost!
My will is as strong as yours, and my kingdom is great. See, you say that, but apparently you don't have a functioning post office, so you have to deliver this message yourself.
She doesn't have to. She chooses to. It's a power move.
However, she stops and then picks up a book, revealing that she's actually reciting lines from it. The movie actually showing that the book itself is called The Labyrinth. It's convenient when your characters have the novelization of their movie to call upon for details.
So where does that fit in the instant home video model?
More importantly, though, she realizes that she's been doing her LARPing much later than she had intended and has to run back home with her dog, Merlin.
Okay, Merlin, your shapeshifting is getting out of hand.
To the garage, come on. Oh no, she's gonna make him follow in his namesake and put him in the garage freezer.
Not sure I've ever heard of a dog getting fridged, but hey, first time for everything.
The comic includes a detail the movie just barely inferred, that Sarah's actual mother left them. Whether that means she died or just abandoned the family isn't clear though.
Given the era of film, while abandonment isn't impossible, death is far more likely.
Oh, someone save me and take me from this awful place! God, what I wouldn't give for some glam rock pop star to show up! Come on, Mark Bolan, I'm waiting for you!
You joke, but stuff like this is more likely than you think. You should hear the story of this one kid from Kickapoo, Missouri.
I hear you, brave young jables, you are hungry for the rock!
Me? Yeah, I know Dio isn't glam rock, but my point still stands. Me.
Otherwise, there's no explanation why the King of the Goblins is a really tall, attractive, human-looking dude. Or maybe it's an Invader Zim thing and Goblin leadership is decided by how tall someone is. You have 13 hours to solve the labyrinth before your baby brother becomes one of us forever. Oh, sorry, 12 hours. Daylight savings time hit while we were talking.
Nice try. This is clearly Arizona. They don't do daylight savings.
I thought they did nice things, like granting wishes. Shows how much you know, then. Yeah, Sarah, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but fairies are actually kind of the assholes of mythology.
While it's easy to throw the blame for the fairies are nice misconception at Disney, I would go back at least as far as J.M. Barrie.
Instead, just having a bunch of dialogue balloons connected to the hands come out to talk to her, explaining that they are helping hands.
I don't remember Helping Hand being this nightmarish in Pokemon.
Don't go on! Go back while you still can! Look, Olmec, when we want your opinion, we'll ask for it.
Hey, he always knows the best route to take through the temple. Maybe you should listen to him.
However, she is a petty one and grabs Hoggle's collection of jewels off of his belt, saying he can have them back when they reach the center. Our hero, everybody! A jerky thief!
Hey, it worked for Tangled, so why not?
The two soon encounter an old guy with some kind of bird on his head that's also a hat.
You ever wonder if this guy was just trying to cosplay as this character?
In the movie, however, the rocks aren't just there.
Rolling Rock? No, Linkara, you of all people should know. It's Pylo!
Goblins mean to Ludo. Ludo just wanted to sell AI chatbot to them.
Ludo's a good guy. Don't lump him in with that evil.
And if I have to complain about anything about this film, it feels like there are a lot of these kind of weird non sequitur segments where she just meets a weird character and it contributes nothing to the plot, nor is it that amusing.
Yeah, one of the downsides about Jim Henson as a filmmaker was he was often the artistic version of was so preoccupied with whether or not he could, he didn't stop to think if he should.
This bridge has lasted 1,000 years, and the bridge collapses under her. Sorry, I meant to say that this bridge hasn't had any maintenance done on it in 1,000 years.
You know, it's too bad Universal Studios never opened a Labyrinth attraction. That really fits their MO.
Didymus reveals his mighty steed, a dog that he rides in the back of, and one that looks quite a bit like Sarah's dog Merlin. Not that she comments on that.
Not sure she has to. I mean, to bring up Peter Pan again, would it have been more effective if the Darling Children ever brought up that Captain Hook sounds a lot like their dad?
She starts to collapse, and Hoggle curses himself and Jareth for doing this. Everything's dancing.
Yeah, there are worse hallucinations one could have from eating a magic peach. You could be seeing giant stop-motion bugs. Me.
This leads into probably the second most well-known part of Labyrinth, and my own personal favorite, mostly for the music.
He says over this admittedly nice 8-bit rendition of the song. Like, I get why YouTube gonna YouTube, I just find it funny.
Of course, dearie. We're all searching for something, aren't we? Me, I'm looking for a good back brace. Can you guess why?
Yeah, because if you don't, you'll drop everything, and then how else is Hideo Kojima ever gonna reconnect America?
But when she tries to leave the room, the crone is there and tells her it's best to stay inside.
Well, she's probably right. Wouldn't want to risk touching grass.
Look, I still offer you a world of dreams.
Don't do it! You'll be forced to play pet simulators just to get basic abilities!
Just let me rule you and you can have everything you want.
You could have anything if you would just give up and love me.
It took me so long to realize this, Jareth, but now I know.
Kingdom Hearts is light!
You know, I'm starting to think a lot of media took inspiration from Labyrinth.
Sarah had grown up. It was finally time to put away her toys.
There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
To be fair, you use magic to turn your toys into weaponry. This review is fun. Something I do respect about it is that Linkara took the time to actually watch the movie for the first time so he could have a basis of how good an adaptation the comic was. Something that I'd argue wasn't entirely necessary, as something like this should be able to stand on its own. I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you.
You know, last time we got into it like this, you were still mad at me over the focus thing.
Oh, you just had to bring that up.
My point is, it's kind of nice to get into a friendly match this time.
Well, unfortunately, I get the feeling this tournament isn't going to be so friendly.
You're really worried about this, huh?
Aren't you? I mean, whoever wins this tournament is going to have access to the power of gods. Me.
Well, I think it's time for another one of my Vikar stories to help reviewer get his mind off things.
Me. Alright, what have you got?
Well, given what we're dealing with, did you guys know that Master Vikar almost became an angel?
Me.
Uh-huh. Or at least so he claimed. You see, long ago he lived in a realm called Adral, where he traveled in an adventuring party. While some members of the party were only temporary, the consistent members were himself, a bard named Merrick, and a paladin named Tinge.
What's a paladin? It's a joke from... never mind.
Me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me.
Exactly. One day, a great cataclysm struck Adiel that eradicated the entire pantheon of gods that presided over it. Despair threatened to consume the realm until Merrick stood up and filled the vacancy left by the gods, becoming the one true god of Adiel. But even as a god, he couldn't run the realm alone, and asked Master Vikar and Tinge to become his angels. While Tinge leapt at the opportunity, Master Vikar declined.
I'm guessing he thought it was too much work or something.
Yeah. However, Merrick refused to let him leave empty-handed and bestowed upon him the vast magical power that he's well known for.
So you're telling us that Vikar literally got his powers from God?
Me, 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 me.
Essentially.
And you didn't think to tell us this before now because...
I was still pretty young when Master Vikar would tell me stories of his adventuring days. Honestly, I never really believed them. But given all the craziness we've dealt with over the last several years, maybe this story was true after all.
Huh. And here I thought you were intentionally hiding secrets again.
Look who's dredging up the past now.
Alright, that's the story. Now for the lesson that's supposed to put me at ease.
Even if we all get knocked out of the tournament, which we won't, we have the power to stop any threat that wants to use those relics for nefarious purposes.
I hope you're right.